guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the general tarot for Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising for March 2019. Just know that these readings are general, so if you're watching and nothing resonates for you, don't freak out. Check out your Sun, Moon and Rising signs, and just remember that these messages can really reach a potentially large audience. So not everybody is going to receive a message every single time. Definitely let me know in the comments or reach me via email if any of the messages do resonate for you. I'd love to receive feedback. Any questions or anything, again, feel free just to reach out. Any further clarity, that's no worries at all. Okay, let's see what we've got here for Taurus. Ooh. Okay, also I apologize for the audio and visual quality. I need to update my mic and camera, but you know, them's a work in progress. Alright, let me just have a quick look at this. Okay, for some of you coming into March, something's going to be revealed to you. And it's kind of like you're almost smug about it. Excuse me. Some of you have been waiting. Some of you have been waiting for this situation, and it feels like whatever this scenario is, you have reached. It's almost like you can't lose in this situation. Whatever this situation is, it's like you're either ends of the spectrum, whichever way you go, you're going to win out with this. Let me just clarify this card is the overall energy for Taurus. March 2019. Thank you. Jeez, we've had this bad boy come in a few times. Okay. For some of you, I feel that this is in relation to a romantic situation. I almost want to say it's like you have met somebody and gone into a relationship with this person, and then very quickly you've learned something about them that you didn't like, or that was something that you'd learnt that you felt you were deceived by, and you quickly ended the relationship. Now, for some, this is a third-party situation, but for others, it's just the deceit come to the surface. And now the relationship obviously didn't end on good terms, and this person that you've moved on from has kind of been, they've been wanting to get back in, and you're just not interested. You don't want a part of it. And it's almost like overnight the attitude switched from wanting you back to like the opposite of that, like basically being a complete and utter jerk. And you're it's like you feel like you've dodged a bullet with this one. Just let me see what the for some of you coming into the month, okay, thank you, a big theme overall for the month for you is going to be balance. And I see this not necessarily being, a balance between work and life and family and friends. It's not that kind of a balance. It's more to do with the activities that you've got going on, engagements that you've got going on, social activities you've got going on. And for some of you, I do see that the struggle this month is really going to be making sure that you've organised and prioritised your time enough to have everything that you want to do for the month slot in. They're saying there's no reason why you can't get it all done. There's no reason why, if you're passionate about doing a particular thing or multiple things, there's no reason that you can't work it out. You've just got to be motivated enough to do it. But they're definitely like, don't feel overburdened. Like, don't feel like you can't, like you have to do it all at once. You can leave a couple of things behind and come back to it later. Yeah, you definitely don't have to feel like just because you can't get everything that you want to do done straight away, it doesn't mean that you can't come back to it and do it later. It's almost like whatever this is that you're doing or involved with, it's not like it's something that's set in stone. Like, you have the power to manipulate what it is that you've got coming up in this particular aspect, so you can definitely dedicate the time that's needed to what it is that you want to do. Okay. For some of you, okay, there's for some of you that are involved with sport, I'm hearing some of you have got like a big sporting event coming up, something that you've been working towards, perhaps something that you've had planned in the works for quite a while, but perhaps a seasonal sport is picking back up again in March. What they're saying here is just pay attention to your body in terms of endurance, in terms of what it is that you can what you can physically maintain. There's definitely there's a big message here to sort of listen to your body, listen to any new aches, listen to any new strains leading up to whatever this particular event is, because they're saying, like, if you don't do that, you run the risk of doing serious damage that will have you out for the whole season or the whole event or whatever this scenario is. So just pay attention to that. And they're saying if you get on top of it quick enough, you'll be able to fix it and everything will be fine. If you don't want to deal with the fact that this will hinder you and hold you back from doing what you want to do with whatever sport, whatever recreation this is, then it's going to get out of hand, and that's when it'll be worse. So you need to get on top of it as soon as you notice. Okay, so some of you are, for the parents out there, some of you are okay. Some of you are pregnant, and it's like, I think it's like that you've got 2 kids, or you've already got a couple of kids as it is, and this pregnancy wasn't planned. It was definitely a surprise. You're happy about it, but you were sort of like, with the amount of kids that you already had, you were like, okay, we're done, like, that's it. And then, hello, no you're not, you're having another one. It seems like for some of you, if you are pregnant or even just running around after kids, it's like for some of you, like you're really overwhelmed at the moment. For some of you, I'm hearing you're not getting the support from your significant other that you need. It's sort of like you work, they work, but you're also running around after the kids, and you don't feel that there's an equal balance at home. I'm definitely hearing that you should talk up about it. For some of you in this sort of a situation, there's a lot of arguments going on at the moment. There's a lot of tension at home. Everybody's stressed. They're definitely saying to not beat yourself up so much, but also take time as a family to do something that you all enjoy and do it together. It doesn't have to be anything overly extravagant. They're like, go for a picnic, go for a picnic, go feed your local ducks, you know, whatever it is, petting zoo, whatever. Go and do something together as a family. Try and take a bit of that stress and pressure off, and force yourself to do this. Like, you're knackered, and I mean your other half's just as knackered, but you guys aren't communicating with each other enough to sort of have that compassion and understanding for each other's situation. It's like the communication's just sort of flatlined a little bit because of the pressures. You're just feeling crappy with the pregnancy, or you know, you've got too much work on. And this is general, this is how it relates to anybody in this sort of situation with kids that are just feeling pressured, overwhelmed. The advice here is definitely to go and try and do something as a family. Rekindle a little bit of what it was that you had. And for those of you that are pregnant, it's like this time around, the situation and the circumstances are really different to your other pregnancies. You're really just struggling this time around. It's almost like you're in that mentality of, we didn't want to do this again. Now it's sort of put you in that negative resistance. And it's like you're just funking yourself up. So definitely try and do this as a family, and talk to your other half, talk to your partner about the way that you're feeling, and don't sugarcoat it, and don't like get snippy. Try not to, and they will understand, and you guys can work this out between yourselves in terms of you getting some time away for yourself and them getting some time away for their self as well. Whatever you guys want to do, you just can work it out. You know, the day is going to be shitty where, you know, you're stuck together with all the kids, but try and, if you can, plan it around whatever day it is that you each take for each other to do something on your own and do something for yourself. Try and plan it around where the other can perhaps take the kids to a play date or go and see a relative, so that the pressure isn't just solely on them and they're still in their feral funk, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because the relationship's fine. This isn't a problem with the relationship. It's just a matter of there being too much on each other's plate and no communication. There's sort of no way to move forward about it. You're both sort of dealing with the same thing, but you're both dealing with it internally. There's no sort of dialogue about it. So while you both can completely and utterly relate to each other because you're both experiencing the same hardships at the moment, neither of you are communicating that to each other. So while you're able to relate and understand, you're not relating and you're not understanding. You're just resisting. For some of you, you're dealing with a situation at the moment that's got you sort of thinking, it's like, okay, for some of you, when you try something new and you take on something new, if it gets too hard and you sort of not overwork yourself, but you underestimate how much work you're going to need to put into this thing to see the end result. some of you definitely want to run away from that. You don't want to deal with it. You're fearful of the commitment. This is not relationship commitment. This is like, for some of you it will be, but overall what I'm hearing, this is like an internal thing. This is something that you've signed up for. You've not been obligated to do this. You've not you've not been pushed or persuaded into doing this. You've chosen to do this for yourself. And some of you are being faced with the reality of the work that's going to be needed to put in order to see this, whatever this is, take off, or just, you're just going to have to put effort into whatever this is. Like, it could be something as simple as joining a social group, or a local neighborhood watch, or going and playing golf with mates on the weekend. It's almost like you signed up for it, and it's like whenever it feels like it's rolling around, or you've got to apply yourself to whatever this is, it's like you don't want to. And it's not that you don't want to. When you actually do it, you are rewarded, and it feels really good. It's like the initial get-go. I feel like for some of you, there's definitely some depression going on there. And you've made the initiative to take on and put yourself out there towards whatever this thing is, to try and help your situation. But now you're having second thoughts, and it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want the commitment of it. But when you actually do it, you feel really good, and you're glad that you did it. So just in this situation, try and focus on that. Try and remember that. Try and remember that, you did take this on for a reason. And when it starts to be too much and feel a bit shitty, remember how good it feels when you do it. Remember that there is a reason for why you're doing this, and you do feel good when you're applying yourself to whatever this is. Okay. Some of you have been really giving your energy, giving your time to others, and this is in no way, shape or form to receive anything back. For some of you, it's just in your nature. For others, you may be volunteering or doing some sort of local work, some sort of charity work, whatever this is. But you've definitely been giving back. Some of you have been, some of you have been, providing like spiritual guidance, perhaps for free, and I'm definitely hearing here that it's going to be worth it, the work that you've put in, the generosity that you've expressed to those freely, simply because, one, you want to learn, two, you felt that that's what you wanted to do and what you needed to do. I definitely do see that there will be results from doing that. You are going to get some sort of personal gratification for doing that. It's not going to be a big song and dance. It's just going to be something for yourself, and it's going to be unexpected because you have done whatever this service is. You've done it from the goodness of your own heart, with no anticipation for any sort of physical reward. Yeah. For some of you, this is a creative endeavor. You've really been putting out there guidance and just good vibes. You've just been helping people. There's definitely a large some of you that are volunteering to some extent. And I mean, all of this is going to come back to you. So whatever it is, for some of you, I'm hearing that there is, you've been putting direct intentions out there, manifesting. Some of you have been doing rituals, spell work, moon casting, whatever. And you're really visualizing, you're really meditating, you're really putting those intentions out there. Know that they're being heard and know that they're going to come back to you. Let me just see. That's very good. Okay. Ooh, oh, that's a lot of cards. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Definitely don't give up on the progress that you've already made. For some of you, it's too easy to put in effort, not see reward straight away, and think that nothing's happening. For others, you're smarter than that. You definitely know that when you put something out there, it takes time to come back. Others, in this scenario, have no clue that anything's even coming back towards them. You're just doing this out of the goodness of your heart. I'm definitely seeing some of you have been considering volunteer work. For some, this is in relation to a current position or perhaps even uni. And as a result of that, you've been considering doing some volunteer work. I definitely seeing here, if that's what you're thinking of doing, you should definitely go for it. Some of you are considering perhaps a new position, a new job position, some of you changing shit up completely and are looking at taking on some form of study. I'm seeing for some of you, some have already graduated, so this will be some sort of like post-grad scenario where it's like you've gone one direction for a little while, and it's like overnight you've had this thought to do something that's almost completely different, completely off track, complete opposite to what you were doing before, but you dive in head first and you give it a go. Some of you are some of you are grieving coming into March. I feel that in February for some of you there has been a passing here. For some of you, this was like really quick. It wasn't something that was like you were aware of for a time and could prepare for it. It's something that's happened quite quickly. I do feel that it's already happened, whatever this is. So March is going to be a little bit harder for you, obviously. They're saying just to take that time, do what you need to do. It's okay to grieve. Don't try and push it away. If you feel that you want to grieve for this and take time for yourself, they're like, by all means do it. Give yourself that time. Give yourself that time. There's a definite balancing act. Again, this is coming out like just that balancing act of, for some of you that are thinking of the volunteering thing or doing new study or changing your job, they're almost saying like for some of you the juggling act's a little bit too much at the moment. So perhaps if it feels like you're suffocating over everything that you've got going on, everything that you want to do, everything that you're sort of starting to plan for, they're like, just simmer down. Like, you don't have to do it overnight. Give yourself a chance to really grasp what it is that you want to do. some of you are going to be getting some form of recognition in March for efforts put in. Again, this is to do with the same sort of aspect here, whatever work it is that you've sort of put in, whatever it is that you've been doing for someone, your community, whatever, there's definite recognition coming in for you for what you've been putting in. But they're saying here with this, you know, you weren't, for some of you, those of you that weren't aware of being praised for your efforts or getting some sort of reward for the work that you've been doing, they're definitely saying to stay humble. You don't want to come across as, you know, like self-privileged, or that you are better than anybody else because of the fact that you've been doing this. And I know for most of you that's not the case at all, but they're just like, keep a level head about it, because you are going to be feeling really good, you're going to be feeling really proud of yourself, and that's 110% totally fine, 100% totally fine. But they're just like, remember to stay humble in this situation. Okay, for some of you, you've been seeing like there's black cats everywhere. It's like, and you're not even a cat person, like you don't even really like cats, but for whatever reason you're just seeing these black cats everywhere, random times. You know, you're driving around, not even your usual spots, and you'll see a black cat. And don't freak out. Some people think that black cats are bad luck. The complete and utter opposite. Black cats are really good luck. But I definitely feel that for those of you that are seeing all of these black cats, there's definitely some sort of spiritual connection here with somebody in spirit. So somebody had a black cat or liked black cats, or there's just some sort of connection for a particular person and black cats, and they're showing you these black cats to let you know that they're around you in spirit. Okay. Okay, for some of you in March, you've got a real desire to be more creative. I'm seeing painting, writing, singing, you know, something to do with the arts. And you've sort of had this pull to start doing whatever this creative endeavor is for quite a while. And in March, it's like you finally bite the bullet and you take the plunge and you actually give it a go. There's definite results that will come from this. Yeah, you'll definitely get some self-reward, some, even if it's like, for some of you it's going to be financial reward, but for a lot of you it's just like you get a bit more of a zest for life for doing this. You realize that this is something that you probably should have been doing for a long time. Yeah, definitely, like some of you are just feeling stressed, exhausted, you've got too much on your plate. Like you really feel that the scenarios that are in your current reality for March and the pressures that you're under You're definitely feeling overwhelmed, and there is still that overlying calling for you to remain balanced with everything that you're taking on for the month of March. There's absolutely no reason why you have to do everything. This can be related to work as well. Whatever it is that's making you feel bogged down and like you just can't get on top. You control what comes in. You control your reality. If you're taking on too much, it's because you've allowed it to happen. So you can quite easily, just the same, change it up. Do what you need to do to fix it. Okay. And for some of you, that's going to be by like taking off that pressure, especially if it's work related. Go to your colleagues, delegate, like go to your community. If you're, a single parent and it's just too much, go to your community, ask for help. Whatever the situation, it's really broad, but whatever the situation is, you know who to go to ask for help, to help alleviate some of the strain and some of the pressure. If you don't have anybody that you can go to, you have to do this for yourself. You have to call the shots for yourself and do what you know you need to do in order to fix it. But overall, the energy for March, the overall energy for March is balance. Or finding balance. The energy is quite a buzz. There's a lot going on for you Taurians, but at the same time, you've brought in this energy. You've created this buzz of activity for yourself for March. So don't look at it as a bad thing. If it is getting too much, know that you can fix it, know that you can control it, and you can slow it down to a pace that you can handle. Definitely don't give up, is what they're telling me. Do not give up, because the effort that you've put in is being heard. The rewards are going to come in. Whatever it is that you're doing for your community, whatever area, your family, friends, whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to receive recognition for it. So while the energy for March can be quite heavy, overall it's a very positive month. By the end of March, you're going to feel solid in the decisions that you've made. Okay, I'll leave it there for you guys. Thanks for watching this video. Do give it a thumbs up if any of these messages resonated for you, and chair's broken. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, bye.